This morning we're going to do the word just a little bit differently. We're going to take a look at our virtue, which is honesty. We've been talking about honesty quite a bit. In fact, we use honesty almost every day in our lives. We say we're true blue. We cross our heart, hope to die, stick a needle in our eye. We swear on the Bible. But a lot of times, are we really being honest? In fact, there are a lot of people that proclaim honesty when, honestly, they're really just covering something up. Well, this morning we're going to take a look at one of Jesus' disciples. We're going to take a look at Judas. Now, Judas is not always the first disciple you think of when you think of his disciples, but he was chosen by Jesus. He was chosen to walk with him for 3 years, and he got to see him perform miracles and do some amazing things and hear Jesus speak. In fact, he was able to hear Jesus when Jesus stood up on the hillside and told people what God's kingdom was like. That was called the Sermon on the Mount, and Judas was there for that. Now, Judas got to see Jesus stand up in a boat in a stormy sea and tell the storm to be still. And he was in a group of men who asked themselves, what kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. Well, the truth is, Jesus was the Son of God. Judas was there when Jesus told a man who couldn't walk that his sins were forgiven and that he should get up and go and walk. The truth is, Jesus could forgive sins and heal the sick.
What do you want me to do for you?
I want to see again.
Then see. Your faith has made you well.
I can see.
Judas laughed, talked, and he worshipped and wondered the same problems that John, Peter, and Matthew heard. The truth was that Jesus was teaching them to carry on his work even when he was gone. Judas was there when Jesus walked on the lake, on top of the water, to get to the boat. The truth is that the whole earth served Jesus, and there wasn't anything he could not do. Judas watched when Jesus took 7 loaves of bread and a few small fish and multiplied it. I imagine Judas himself took some of the bread and the fish and handed out to the other people. The disciples, well, they saw more than 4,000 people eat until they were full.
Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who bringeth forth bread from the earth.
The truth was, well, Jesus can provide every need we have. Judas Iscariot, he got to see, he got to hear, and he got to experience Jesus. He got to be with him in good times and in bad times. He saw things that we can only imagine. You would think that someone who got to be with Jesus would understand what it was like. And you would think that someone who was that close to the Son of God would value honesty. Unfortunately, Judas had a secret. Judas never was honest about what he was seeing. He believed in some lies. The Gospel of John tells us that Judas was in charge of the money bags for Jesus and the disciples. John also tells us that he was stealing from it. It means that even though Judas saw Jesus feed the hungry, he told himself the lie that it didn't matter or wasn't true. It means Judas didn't believe Jesus could take care of all of his needs. He thought he had to look out for himself. Now, when some of the crowds turned against Jesus and his followers, and when there were plots against him, Judas began to doubt. Judas believed the lie that Jesus' plan was not going to work. Matthew tells us that Judas went secretly to the chief priests and he asked them what they would give him if he turned Jesus over to him, and they offered him 30 pieces of silver. Judas believed the lie that he had a better idea than the Son of God did. Judas was with the other disciples when Jesus told them that one of them would betray him. Judas thought that he could cover up his lies by asking Jesus out loud in front of the others. He said, "Surely not I, Rabbi." Jesus answered, "Yes, it is you." Judas believed the lie that he could fool Jesus, just like he tried to fool himself. Judas went out that night. He told the chief priest where they would find Jesus. He even led them straight to him. Soldiers were with Judas, and they had torches lighting up the night, and they had swords. And Judas told them that they would know who Jesus was, the one that they were to arrest, because he would go up to Jesus and he would kiss him on the cheek.
Is it with a kiss that you betray the Son of Man?
And just like that, Judas believed the lie that he could control what Jesus was going to do. By the time Judas realized what he had done, it was very, very dark. I think at the end, he realized that he was so deep in the darkness of lies that he could hardly see the truth anymore at all. Surely, he did finally realize that he had done something terrible. He tried to give the money back, but the priest wouldn't take it. He threw it on the ground in the temple. Judas had run from honesty for so long. Well, he waited too long. Judas died in the darkness of a lie. Here's what we need to remember. You can lie so much that it's hard to remember what's true. And I think it's important for us to remember what happens when we don't value honesty. Here's the good news, though. You are hearing truth this morning. You get to hear truth from your mom and your dad. You get to hear truth from wise friends. And some of you know the 3 truths we say over and over in Sunday school. You need to treat others the way you want to be treated. You need to make the wise choice. You need to trust God no matter what. You have a light in your life. You know how to value it. You can use your words and your actions in a way that show how you value the truth. Now here's my prayer for each one of you this morning. I hope that if things ever start to look dark in your life, whether it's something you can control or something completely out of your control, I pray that you find the faith to trust in the truth that you know. I pray that God shows up in a way that can't be hidden. He may speak to you through a friend, through a parent, through the Bible. He may speak to you in a way that will totally surprise you. But whatever it is, I pray that each one of you is truthful in your words and your actions when you see the truth.